Hello, I'm Rivera-san, and welcome to Candlelight, Nonviolence in Dark Times. Today I want to talk a little bit about the power of standing together and about leaving nobody behind. So we've all heard that incredible poem written after World War II. This idea that, first they came for the socialists and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. It's a chilling warning, a cautionary tale that we can retreat into our sense of relative privilege in society only so long before the erasure of rights and dignities, justice and respect erodes our very own sense of those rights and privileges and dignity and respect in society. Far better to throw down the beauty, the dignity, and the power of our lives in support of the rights and dignity of all, and to stop that terrible slide into destruction. We heard in one of the previous episodes about one of the 10 commandments of the Danes during Nazi occupation was to protect anyone chased by the Nazis. Anyone chased by the Nazis. And when we have this as a baseline rule to protect those who are persecuted, whether it's ourselves or people like us or people wildly different from us, then we are in a position of remembering that we are tied together, or as Dr. King said in Letter from a Birmingham Jail, everyone is caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be, and you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. So we're tied together, we're connected. And if we want to break out of the conditions that we find ourselves in now, this political situation under the politics of hatred and discrimination, then we need to bring those words close to our hearts and be willing to take risks to stand up for others. This goes counter to what our culture teaches us. In the movie Rustin, the incredible civil rights organizer Bayard Rustin had a beautiful quote or a beautiful line. And he said, "Each of us is taught in ways both cunning and cruel that we are inadequate, incomplete. And the easiest way to combat that feeling of not being enough is to find someone we consider less than. Less than us because they are poorer than us, or darker than us, or because they desire someone our churches or laws say they should not desire. When we tell ourselves such lies, start to live and believe such lies, we do the work of the oppressors by oppressing ourselves. What they really want to destroy is all of us coming together and demanding this country change." Now, this incredible quote from Bayard Rustin, the experience of being a Black gay man in the 1950s and 60s, a front runner on the campaign for civil rights, out there organizing long before most people were organizing, has a lot of relevancy to today, where we're taught to, our federal government is trying to persecute women, queer people, migrants, Black people, anyone who doesn't conform to their white supremacy, their patriarchy, their sense of national superiority. Well, the thing to remember is there's a whole lot more of us than there are of them. That's how the politics of exclusion versus the politics of inclusion work. But it only works if we're willing to stand in solidarity together. In the incredible movie Salt of the Earth about a Hispanic-led miners' strike in the 1930s, the only film ever to have been officially blacklisted by the US government. The main character, Rosa Esperanza says, I don't want to push anyone else down so that I may stand. I want us all to rise together. And she's speaking as a Latina woman, someone who, like Bayard Rustin, carries double oppressions in society. These are the role models that we must take to our hearts and stand with and stand together with everyone in our community. There's power in this. It's the power of nonviolent resistance that we know relies upon participation and building this kind of solidarity. Michelle Alexander, in the beautiful book Only Revolutionary Love Can Save Us Now, said, in virtually every community, people are coming together in remarkable ways, learning about each other's histories of struggle, marching together, co-creating together, planting seeds of something new together, making another way possible, a way out of no way. People are casting off old ways of seeing the world and being in the world and recognizing that everything depends on us rising to the challenges of our times, speaking unpopular truths, and acting with courage and love and the fierce urgency of now. Community and connection and solidarity are the way that we find our way out of no way. The incredible leader in the Indian independence movement, Badshah Khan, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, a Pashtun man who built an 80,000 person nonviolent army to wage struggle with civil resistance against the British Empire, said, if you want your people to prosper, you must start living for community, not individualism, for community. In these times, we can't go it alone. We need other people. And to give you one last quote to close with, Ken Buddigan wrote in Nonviolent Lives, we cannot change the world by ourselves. If we take the burden of the world entirely on our shoulders, we will likely be destroyed by it. We need other beautiful, cranky, vulnerable, and committed people to do this with us. We need mentors, we need affinity groups, we need organization, we need community. So stand up for others, because our lives are bound together. And wherever you take a stand for yourself and for your community. And this is how we have the power that has gotten us through all the dark times of the past. Thank you for listening to Candlelight, Nonviolence in Dark Times.